Hi, Terry.
So Rebecca, I guess everybody's here. I mean, we're missing Oscar, but I'm sure he'll come in a minute.
Just so all of you know, I'm driving, so I should be able to participate, but I'm not gonna be able to look at anything yet until I get home.
Are you ready to call the meeting to order, Rebecca?
Oh, do I get?
You're the
Hello?
president.
Doesn't she start in January or is she starting now?
I started signing
Can I
documents. Yes, I started signing documents yesterday as a secretary, so that's what tipped me off.
Oh, okay.
Jerry, could I get you to do it one more month? I'm sick right now. I'm sorry.
Yes, of course.
I'm
What
really
is-
sorry.
What is the time
I
you
just
have,
don't-
Tiffany?
6:02.
6:02.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fraser Park Public Utility District regular state planning and project meeting for Thursday, December 16th, 2021. Will you please join me in saluting the flag? Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
To the
to the
flag
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 of
of the
United
United
States
States
of
of
America
America
and
to the republic
to the republic
which it
for
stands,
which it stands,
under
one
God,
one
nation,
nation, under
under
God,
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 indivisible, with
indivisible,
liberty and
with liberty
justice
and
for all.
justice
for all.
for all.
Thank you. Roll call directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Here.
Director Nyman,
Here,
Director Schoenberg,
I'm here.
I'm Director Garcia, acting as president, directing the meeting tonight. Thank you. Number two, is there any need for adjustment on the agenda this evening? Having heard nothing, we'll move on to number three, public comments. Are there any public comments in the audience tonight? Not hearing anything, I will move on to number four. Financial business. Number four, discussion, vote on telemetry payment request from Snolly Engineering. Any discussion? Johnny, are you leading this one?
Yeah, I thought the Nest was going to be on the phone tonight, but it's just his for the telemetry upgrade. But I guess Ness ain't on the line. But you guys approved it, the upgrades and everything. So I guess we could still proceed with it.
Absolutely.
so basically, we're gonna make a $1,350 payment. We have one invoice from Ness for that amount.
Actually, Brom, it says on here on the one thing, it says deposit of $10,000 due
Yeah,
upon award.
I'm aware of that, Johnny. I was going one invoice at a time.
Oh, all right.
So the one payment is for $1,350. That's a lump sum for the master antenna engineering project. That's that 40-foot antenna
Mask.
antenna pole. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have a invoice for $23,400, and that's for the radio project for him to hook everything up to all the different tanks, and he's asking for a $10,000 deposit, and we've done that today. So
And can I just add something? We currently cut
Please.
those out of our operating revenue fund, but Johnny will be writing a letter to the USDA to see if we can pull money out of the replacement fund to actually pay for that, since the telemetry is still, it's not at end life, and it was part of the grant, and part of the replacement fund is to help replace items on that grant that need replacement. So hopefully we'll be able to pull that money from there. But for now, we cut it out of operating revenue.
Thank you, Director Schoenberg.
So
Go ahead, Director Nyman.
if there isn't any other discussion, I'll make a motion that we approve these two payments for what's his name?
Ness.
It's-
Ness is what he calls him.
Yeah, for Sonali Engineering.
I do want to ask one other thing. I wanted to make sure, because the address had changed, and I'm not sure if Deborah caught that or Tiffany, so I just want to make sure that when we send those, once we approve them, we double check the address.
Well, what
You
is the
accept that
correct?
friendly amendment, Director Nyman?
Yes, I accept that amendment.
Do I have a second on this motion?
I'll second it.
Is that Director Gibson? Director Gibson has seconded it. Roll call of directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Garcia is an aye. 5-0-0, motion carried.
And looking at the check and looking at the address on here, it is correct.
Excellent.
13155 Bakers, PO Box 13155 Bakersfield, California.
Thank you, Director Nyman. Appreciate that checking on that. Number 5, discussion vote on accounts payable and financial information. Good evening, Deborah Angel.
Good evening.
The floor is yours, ma'am.
Okay. We cut 9 checks from the revenue operating account totaling $24,762.56. And that did include the 2 items you were talking about just now for Sanley. And the only other extraordinary item on that list was the employee benefit check for $10,812.73, which is about $500 less than what it has been last year. This is a monthly premium for the employee benefits.
Any questions by the board? Discussion?
The only question I have
Yes, Director Nyman, go ahead.
is how many employees are on this particular one? I don't have the paperwork in front of me, so
Miss Angel, do you have that?
I was curious because I think we were there was one being dropped. Do
Not
we
yet.
know? Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Just wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Johnny. If there's no further discussion or questions, I'll entertain a motion to pay our bills.
I'll make a motion that we pay our bills.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Director Gibson has seconded the motion. Roll call directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Garcia is an aye. 5-0-0. Motion carried.
And before
Go
we
ahead.
get off the financials, I just wanted to point out that I made another phone call to Sherry at the bank today. We had the 2 new accounts, the pipeline and the meter well account or well meter account. Both of those were being assessed not only a fee, a service fee, but also a paper statement fee. So I called again because that was supposed to be reversed, and she did tell me that she reversed it today. So I haven't had time to go look. When I looked earlier, they were still there, but I think they're probably gone now. And then also we had been charged a $35 service fee every month for the last 4 months from the general account. It's actually supposed to be attached to the operating revenue, and it's for us using the automatic deposit. the check deposit the way that we do. That's the service fee that we need to pay, but it was coming out of the wrong account. So that's now, I transferred money from operating revenue back in to cover the money coming out of general, and they're supposed to start charging the operating revenue instead of the general. And then I also made a couple of transfers for claim number 9 and claim number 10, 3 each.
Excellent.
Uh,
Thank you. Director Nyman?
Director Schoenberg, did you go in to those 2 accounts and change them to paperless?
Yes, I did. I had actually done that before, so I don't know why it switched again, but I did it again today.
Okay.
So hopefully it stays. I switched everything to paperless, the notices, the tax, and everything, because I don't know why it bumped back.
Okay.
So I went ahead and Tiffany and Deborah, just for your knowledge, everything is going to hopefully come in paperless for all the accounts.
Okay. And before the end of the year, I think we need to get together to go over our payments, what we need to do for the next year and where we're at and what we have done or haven't done. So that I'm up to speed.
Okay.
Okay. Number 6, discussion, vote, and approve a new district credit card. Who's got the info on this? Johnny?
I'm a little concerned about this, and I don't have it right in front of me right this moment, but Johnny wasn't here for the last meeting to talk when we talked about it. So one of my concerns is that it isn't. One of the concerns is when it needs to be paid, and it's not something we can just drive a check over like what we do with California Bank and Trust. And the other thing is it is only a one-time reward, not an ongoing reward, and the reward is less. So anyway, those are my concerns.
I personally don't have any preference at all what type of card. The only reason why the American Express was on there was because it came in the mail. So it doesn't really matter which one we try to get. We just need to find one. But the thing is I found out that most credit cards now you apply online. So it'd be kind of like me applying for a credit card without you guys signing off on it. So maybe one of you that's good at that stuff could find the credit card with the board's approval and just go ahead and apply for it online.
Do we need to change our credit card?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just easier to change it and not have it at this bank. It seems to complicate things. It's hard to get statements sometimes. It's linked to my personal accounts in a way that I can't access it with my work phone. I have to access it with my own personal account, which means normally I keep it hidden. And then when I do log into it, oftentimes it doesn't let me look at the purchases, the itemized purchases like normal, like the rest of my cards.
Yeah, that's
so no. And I asked her, I said, well, so why is it on my account? She said, well, because it's linked via your social security number and there's no way to separate it when you have an account with us.
The work
nonsense.
shouldn't have any of your personal information on it.
That's true.
Social
But the thing
security
is,
or otherwise.
yeah, well, I mean, that's how they linked it. So, but unfortunately, I don't get the good credit for it. I don't get the benefit.
What do the other directors think? You got any input, Director Nyman?
Not offhand.
Is this a pressing issue?
It is
Johnny?
not. Nope.
Okay.
I think it's something we need to do more research on.
Yeah, I think so as well. Can we carry it over?
We could just you table it in general until something comes along too. That would be fine too. We're starting to get a whole lot of things to stay on the agenda for time after time. So if I find something else, then I'll just present it to you.
Yeah, I guess the question would be when we check with another bank, are they gonna do the same thing with the personal information? I guess that's what we need to find out, because it should be just to the company with your name on it.
Absolutely. I
Is
agree.
what I,
Well, Tiffany, have you noticed that yours is linked to your account?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. I think it's just because we have accounts at that bank, but I don't know. So yeah, we'll look into it and then I'll put it back on the agenda when I find something.
yeah.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Number 7.
Thank you. I think we're
Yes.
done with Deborah.
Good evening, Deborah. Thank you very much. for your
Night,
service.
Deborah. Merry
Appreciate it.
Christmas.
Merry
Thank you, Deborah.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas and
Merry
Happy New Year.
Christmas.
if I don't
Happy New
see
Year.
you.
See you next year.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good
Deborah.
night.
Okay, unfinished business. Number 7, discussion vote update on Fraser Park, Lake of the Woods Consolidation Planning Project. A, discussion vote on test well property appraisals and acquisition. Is D on the line today?
D is not here today, and he won't be here as far as I know. So,
That's
Did
right.
we have any,
Graduation, right?
yeah,
Do we have any
so,
information on that, Johnny?
He's out here in
I do.
Colorado.
I do not. I have no updates to give you on any of the projects.
Okay, well, that
basically
one's
the
gonna have to
last
carry
word,
over.
the last word we had was, I believe that, it would be like the beginning of January before we would do any, appraisals on that. And, so, let's see,
Well,
okay,
I'm
yeah.
gonna say that number 7 is all inclusive with input from D Jasper.
I believe that that he had an issue with the appraisers, that the appraisal is a ways out. It could even be more than, I think it's gonna be more than the beginning of January. He was talking potentially a month to 2 months. And so I think we're kind of not able to do much else until we get an appraisal on that property. And so we're kind of stuck, with him negotiating when the appraiser can come up and actually appraise the property. Other than that, the other things that we needed to take care of are already done,
Well,
No.
we still need to do number F.
which is F.
Letter F,
Yes.
discussion vote on a new budget adjustment. What information do you have, Director Nyman?
Okay, it's in your packet. We talked to Lawrence today about doing a budget adjustment for the appraisals and license. So it was reduce the contingency by $7,500. And
Okay, we've been talking about this for a while now.
right, so
Excellent.
we have written a letter to Lawrence Sanchez asking to move that $7,500 to a new revised budget for the appraisals to $20,000, which is going to include, the access, licenses, access, and appraisals of the property.
Right.
So we just need to make a motion, I guess, to if anybody has any question on that, we just need to make a motion to approve this letter to send to Lawrence Sanchez.
Would you like to do
I
so,
just have-
Director Nyman?
I can do so. The only change that we need to make is we need to change the president to Rebecca Gibson.
Yeah, and I'll do that when I send the page for Tiffany to sign.
Okay,
Direct-
and
Director Gibson, oh, go ahead.
and Director Gibson's name is with a P, not a B.
Yeah, I had it right. It was Oscars that had it.
Oh,
wrong.
okay, no problem.
And I have a minor correction on
Okay.
the last paragraph. We request the approval. SEA should be all caps.
SEA.
Oh,
Instead of
SEA,
C, it should be SEA, right?
Yes.
yes. Okay, so that's great. We'll make that correction. Did you get that, Carlos?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right now.
Okay,
On what part of it was it?
towards the
It's
bottom
right
of
at
the
the bottom,
letter.
right above by Fraser Park Utility District. The very last paragraph.
Where it says, in summary, these
Where it
adjustments.
says SEA, that's got to be in caps.
thought it was.
No, it's the,
It
what
was
we
on the
have,
one above it, but not that one.
the one at the last paragraph,
Well,
where it says these budget adjustments so we can begin working on the SEA and Wainwright property appraisals. SEA is not capitalized.
oh, okay, I see it. Okay, I was looking at the second to the last paragraph. Is Wainwright spelled correctly?
WAIN.
I believe it is.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
so I'll change the name and I'll capitalize Saya.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we approve the budget letter to Lawrence Sanchez with the mentioned amendments to the letter.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Director Gibson has seconded. Roll call directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg.
Aye.
Thank you.
But
Director Gar,
I do have a question about this. So go ahead and say your aye.
let's finish up the roll call. Director Garcia is an aye. 5-0-0. Motion carried. Director Gibbs, Schoenberg, would you like to comment?
Should Gibson really be seconding anything on this meeting? Because she's still theoretically president at this point. And
Oh,
so even though you're running the meeting, Jerry, I think that she probably should not be a seconder to a motion.
oops. So can Jerry run the meeting and second stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically whoever's the president is not supposed to be a second.
I'm sorry. I assumed it would be in January, and like I did
I'm
really
too.
sick.
I did too, so I'm a little confused. I don't know if Tiffany can
Clarify that.
clarify that, because
What does
Okay.
our resolution say?
I have actually three points of clarification. One, it's the chair who can't second, according to Robert's rules. Second is the effective date of the resolution was dated December 9th, which is why I had Jerry start signing already.
Ah.
And then third is Carlos Wainwright was actually spelled incorrect. It's only the first W and you can get rid of the second W.
Okay, I'll fix that. Right.
So there's two places in there that you need to fix that.
Okay, all fixed already.
Okay.
but the reason why normally the president, who just happens to not be chairing at this point, but I understand that that's Robert's rules, but generally the reason why you would want the president not to second a motion would be because they're the signer on most of the documents. So I think that may be a little bit, I mean, we're probably fine. I'm probably being like a stickler for stuff, but
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Well, for the rest of the evening, I'll watch my P's and Q's.
Well, do we want to re-motion that and ask someone else to second it?
I think it wasn't the only, I think,
I will be
I
happy to.
seconded another motion.
yeah.
happy to
So I think we just move forward and maybe not continue to second.
Okay.
Or motion. Okay, got it.
Do I have a second for this motion?
Well, we already voted on this one. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
5-0-0, motion carried. Letter G. We're beyond that, I guess. We're not doing that. We have claim 13?
Yes.
Okay. G, discussion vote on claim 13 and other claims and payouts. Director Nyman, lead us off.
Okay, so basically, we've got the claim ready for claim 13. It's for a total amount of $1,862. We are on the first part of the claim. We're getting reimbursed for planning meetings, a total of $500, and then a FPPUD staff administration costs for $75.25. That comes to $575.25. Then we have invoice number 21-12015 for test well administration in the amount of $396. That's to, I believe, to D. Jasper and Associates. And then we also have invoice number 21-12014 for a hydrology report for $891. So that total brings the total claim 13 charges to $1,862.25. So if there's no discussion on this submittal, I would like to make a motion that we approve the claim for submittal.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Director Kelly has seconded the motion. Roll call of directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Director Schoenberg.
Sorry, my phone was doing something weird. Yes, aye.
Director Garcia is an aye. 500, motion carried. Okay, number 8. Discussion vote update on FPPUD meter replacement project and emergency well supply project. A, discussion vote update on going out to bid. Well, we know we've been out to bid for November 23rd, was it?
Yeah, okay. We last time we talked to D, we approved in the last meeting that we were changing the bid to reverse drilling, and he was going to redo the bid documents and get them sent out. So I'm not sure if he's got that out on the field yet, but we did talk with Lawrence today on the state update meeting, and he's okay with us making that change. And so that's kind of where we stand. I'm assuming he's already got it out to bid, but we don't have that information at this time.
Thank you, Director Nyman. B, discuss.
I
Go
don't know.
ahead.
Yeah, this is Carlos. I don't know if this makes a difference or not, but both earlier in today's earlier meeting and now, you guys mentioned that D changed the bid to just to reverse drilling, but in reality, what I understood is that he was just adding reverse drilling in there as well as the other method. So in case he gets the other method as well, then we can go with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be great. And I sent D and Curtis an email earlier after our meeting with the state, asking when Lawrence would be sent the changes, but I haven't got a response.
Thank you, Johnny. So do we need that clarified?
Well, I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, we already approved him making that change. So if he's just adding it on, that's fine. Because we got no response from the first bid. So
right.
So we're going out again. So
exactly. Okay, so B, Discuss and vote on site access to SEA property. Is that really a little premature, Johnny, at this point?
Yeah, because we got a verbal access to say a property, so anything else would be an easement or something, but we don't know anything about that till next month at least.
Okay, verbal. Thank you. C, vote, discussion, vote on plans and specs for the meter replacement.
I
Those aren't
believe
coming out
he's
till,
not,
February, right?
I think sometime in January, but I could be wrong.
Okay, so that's gonna be carried over.
Also D.
As well, I agree. Kind of moot point there, can't bid on something we haven't designed yet. Is there any discussion and vote on claims or payouts?
Yes, we
Director
are.
Nyman,
So Oscar has did the first claim, which is claim number 1 for submittal. And that claim is for the amount of $18,705, which includes hold on just a second. So we have the first part of the claim is for meter design work, and it's invoice number 21-12019 dated November 30th in the amount of $8,442.50. That's for D. Jasper and Associates. We also have a second invoice, which is invoice for also meter design work, invoice number 12-10016 dated October 31st, 2021 in the amount of $9,688.75. And that's also to D. Jasper and Associates. And then lastly on there, we have for administration of legal counsel, invoice number 79608 dated July 31st, 2021 in the amount of $574, which makes the total for this submittal. And unless there's any discussion, I would like to make a motion that we approve claim number 1 for the Fraser Park Public Utility District Meter Replacement Project and Emergency Well Supply Project Funding Agreement, SRB 00000D202051. Then this is for July 1st, 2021 through November 30th, 2021.
do I have a second?
I will second that.
Sorry to
Director
interrupt.
Kelly?
Lisa texted me. She's trying to get back on the meeting.
Oh, okay, okay. Should we just hold up for a minute?
We can if you like.
Or we could go forward.
But never backward.
That's pretty funny. True story though.
Or we could
Okay,
do the vote.
the motion has been seconded by Director Kelly. Roll call of directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Is absent.
Director Garcia is an aye. 4-0, 1 absent, motion carried.
Okay. And was there anything else that we needed to talk about this on, Oscar?
Well, I went ahead and made the corrections already, and I sent them to Tiffany. I changed the last name on Director Gibson because I had a misspelling. So I think we should be good to go. Good on this.
Okay. All righty.
Okay, then.
Before you move on, I got a quick comment.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Please.
on claim 13. I was gonna run it by you guys to see what you guys think. I would like to shorten up the claim a little bit because there's stuff that's kind of repeating itself. If you guys got the claim in front of you,
Yes.
okay. If you go to
Didn't we
page
already
5,
vote on it?
yeah, but this is something separate from voting on it,
Oh, okay.
from allowing it. So if you go to page 5, there's a summary sheet that's something that's required by the state, which is, the page 5 on the report on the claim.
Right.
And then Dave would do a separate summary sheet, which kind of has the same information as that summary sheet. So I was thinking maybe I could eliminate that one to have less pages and shorten the claim up. But I wanted to run it by you guys.
Are you talking where he does the
Yeah, the page. So this is page 8 of the claim. It's the summary of costs, which is pretty
Right.
much showing the same thing that's on that other sheet that's required by the state.
what do you think, Director Schoenberg?
I'm not sure why. I think there was a reason he was doing that sometimes, which was for other items that were not covered. If might be wrong.
Yeah, because every item that goes on that summary of cost sheet is already on page 5 on that summary sheet.
Which is that one that shows wherever that's where you say see attached, it says like project management $500 and staff costs is all on that's the state form, correct?
Yeah, the state form. So basically I'm repeating what's on the state form in that other form. So, but it's up to you guys. If you guys want it on there, I'll leave it on there, but I was just thinking I
But
can save some paper.
Didn't he used to include some other stuff like on one of the other, like the Tulare, when it was like Irwimp or something else on, I mean, not for this planning. I think for the planning, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't see a need for it. Unless, I mean, he may have been doing it just, but if, it seems redundant.
So it's up to you guys. I mean, if you guys, it's just it's a little extra work for me and it makes the claims a lot longer, but I mean, it's up to you guys. If you guys want it there, I'll keep it there. I was just asking you guys, so it's your choice.
What does the other directors think? I personally think that we could probably eliminate it.
Was it Dave that was putting the 2 in there?
Yeah, Dave was basically he was doing another cover sheet that says summary of costs. Whereas what Carlos is saying is that the same information is all grouped on the what it calls allowance soft cost summary sheet.
Right.
So he just wants to eliminate that extra work. And
But if it's redundant, we don't need it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm okay with it. I guess we need to know each director if the directors, do we need to vote on it, or I don't know that we can vote on it. We just have to be in agreement.
Direct them.
I have one more question, because that isn't that always showing everything that, okay, maybe I'm looking at the wrong. So you're talking specifically about
Page 8.
If you go to page 5, it says allowance summary sheet. That's the state form that's in color.
Right.
And that has everything, the summary of everything that we're claiming. And so what he's asking to do, if you go to the 8th sheet, it says he has summary of costs, which which shows each item, he's putting that extra in there. So that
Right.
page isn't it is not a requirement for the state.
But it's helpful for us in that we are able to look at all of the items that are not being charged at the moment as well.
What do you mean? Because that's all items. The summary only shows the summary of what we're. I mean, if you're not being charged, it wouldn't matter, because if you look at the summary sheet, you're only you automatically know that you're not doing legal stuff because it isn't going to be on the summary sheet.
See, I think I know what Lisa is talking about, but that can be solved with the cover page. Like what Lisa's talking about is like, actually, no, never mind, because I didn't include.
Because like if you look at
those
if you
payments on here.
look at the summary sheet that you did, you had on there Young and Wooldridge, and you had a 0. I mean
Yeah.
there's no reason for us, because when we get the claim, he's giving us only the invoices that he's going to be charging anyways.
Yeah, and even though in page 5 it still shows that Young and Woolridge didn't charge anything because there's nothing on legal.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So on your allowance of soft cost summary sheet, it's not going to show anything. So it's showing the
Yeah, it shows everything that page 8 shows everything that page 5 has. So it's the same thing. Just it's showing you all over again the same thing.
yeah. The only issue, Carlos, is that what I'm looking at though is that you don't, on the summary sheet you say see attached for the invoices. So
Yeah, but when you go down to where the invoices are at, there's a cover sheet for that invoice, and it says the task number, then it says invoice number such and such, and then it says charge 396, and then the invoice will be right after that. So there is a cover page that shows the invoices down there.
But I think the issue is going to be like when we're going over it in the meeting, it'll take more time because we'll have to thumb through everything to get each invoice.
Okay, well, if that's an issue, then I'll just keep it on there then.
Yeah, because
Brahma, if
Yes.
you want to compare the claim that I submitted, because I did not include that sheet that Carlos is talking about, but instead of writing C attached where the invoice is, I put the invoice number. That was the only difference. So I think what we're saying is that, like Carlos said.
No, the problem though, Oscar, is though sometimes you have multiple invoices in the same charge, and you can't put all the invoices. That's why a lot of times I just put C attached.
Like okay, so I'm looking at your summary sheet, Oscar, and basically you have a lot of room in there to put invoices. I mean, he would have to add lines in there you'd have to add in lines to put in the Carlos, to put the invoice.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it can't be done. I mean, so basically, every time Carlos, like if you look at like legal, you'd put the first invoice and then you'd have to add a line in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you want to do it that way, where it's going to extend it each time, you know what I'm saying? So under management administration, I mean, we only had 500 this time, but like, so test well engineering, you had 2 invoices, so you'd have to add a line in there, just a blank line underneath it, so you could put the invoice number and the amount.
Yeah.
So if you want to do that way, I mean, I think that we need to have the invoice numbers on so that we can do it. So whatever's easiest for you
Okay, what I can do is I can make that invoice column wider so I can add multiple invoices in there if need be.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. You'd have to add lines. So because you're gonna, for that whole, for example, under the one for D. So you have test well engineering, right? So you, in the first one, you put the invoice number and the amount, which was 396, and then of course the hydrology went under hydrology. But if it was another D's invoice, you'd put in another line and just a blank line.
Yeah, I'll make all the invoices fit
right
on that summary sheet, and I'll eliminate the other one.
Okay,
if that's okay with you guys.
I think that'll work.
And if you guys don't like the way it comes out the next time when I do that, then I can go back to the old way.
I mean, I think that the only reason why it's redundant like that is that, like I said, it showed the other items and the full amount of like the breakdown items, which the other state one doesn't show.
I don't know what you're saying, Lisa, because it all has to be on this sheet.
No, what she's saying is, like, let's say there's 3 invoices to hydrogeology report.
Right.
It just shows the total amount. It doesn't show the individual amount of each invoice, and that's what Lisa's talking about.
Right, but you can add that in. That's what you're saying.
No, I can add, well,
because you can add a line. I mean,
the thing is that if I do add lines, I mean, I could add lines, and I can basically cover up items that we're not charging to, so it all fits on one page. Because right now we're not charging to 4D, 4E, or 4F. So I can add lines and fix it. And I can add every invoice, and I can put in all the amounts of each invoice.
Okay.
But if it's too much, I can just keep doing it the same way we've been doing it. So it's okay.
You good? You good, Director Nyman?
Well, I'm good. I mean, I think as long as we get the information on the one sheet, I'm not resistant to change.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. So that'll wrap up number 8. Number 9. Discussion vote on pipeline replacement project. Who has information on this? Is all D?
Actually, we talked in the state update meeting today.
Okay, let's start that.
And basically, Carlos was telling us that we will not have the agreement signed until till February. Is that not correct, Carlos?
Yeah, he said February. He said first he had said 3 months, so that would have been March. But then he's like, well, since this is a priority, we'll have you guys could have the funding agreement by February.
So basically, we're not going to be able, we'll have to discuss it with D next month, but we're not going to be able to go out to bid and get do any work on the potholing and mapping until basically it's going to be March. But once it's approval, we'll do all the work, I guess. Because I don't think we can we do pre-work? We can do, I mean, can he do the bidding prior to that? Lisa, do you know?
I believe we can. So that's why I'm not sure, because is it that we're waiting that additional time for the actual funding or for the agreement?
Breathing really hard. You might want to breathe a little bit.
What?
I apologize. I was talking to my son. He was eating.
It sounded like good information for all of us.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
So sorry guys, I'm thrown off. So it depends on if we're talking about the contract approval, like the actual approval of the work plan, as opposed to the funding of the work plan, because I believe as long as we have approval, because I don't know if you recall this, but we were doing this previous to this, when we had the work plan that we still hadn't received the money on, we were paying for some items, and then we were being reimbursed through self-help once they actually received the TA funding. So I'm a little confused, Carlos. Is it that we don't have the agreement for 2 months, or is it that we don't have the funding for 2 months?
Right now we are finishing up the review of the work plan, and the state, we're gonna submit it to the state, and the state is gonna approve that work plan in February. So it'll be approved in February.
So the question is, I guess, Carlos, is we cannot do any pre-work?
Not if it's not approved. So that's why I was asking.
Yeah,
does
it won't be approved till February. So once it's approved, you guys can start work.
Well, we still may not have funding.
Because
So-
originally when we had the meeting with the state, originally they were saying something about it not holding up us doing the work. Don't you remember that, Pam?
Hey, I'm sorry, I had to unmute myself. I do. I remember them saying that it was active immediately, just like DWR. We were able to utilize.
I mean, that's what they, but we don't have anything in writing. So that's my biggest concern.
I guess that should have been a question today. Like, can we start getting, well, at least the engineering part, the soft costs can be covered, right?
I would think so.
To get everything ready for the bid. And then if it's all ready to go, then once the agreement comes in, then you just send it out to bid.
I don't know if that's true. If we can, that's why I was asking, is it when, in the past, when self-help had a contract, once the contract was negotiated, we were able to spend money even though the funding wasn't, like, the funding was approved, but it wasn't given to us yet. So this is saying, you're saying it's not even going to be approved until February.
Yeah, the work plan will be approved in February.
So I don't think you can spend money previous to the actual approval. The approval doesn't mean you have the funding. Just because they approve it isn't the funds coming through either.
I believe for our work plans, it is. Once it's approved, then we can start work on it. But I will check up on that. And,
can you
I'll
check
get back
with
to
your
you guys.
boss, Carlos? And
yes, I will.
And see, because I mean, it would be a lot easier for us if we could at least get started on putting bids together and having Dee do that preliminary work so that we can send it out to bid once the approval is given.
Excuse me,
I'll
when you
ask and
guys
I'll have that info back to you guys.
Go ahead, Johnny.
when you guys resolve this issue here, if we could go back to item 8A, I have an update.
Yes, by all means.
Okay, Curtis responded to an email that said, I asked him about the changes to the bid. He said, I've made the changes to the bid documents and expect to place them out to bid next week, probably the middle of the week, with bids due around the beginning of February. So that's his update.
Thank you. Okay, let's go back to 9B. Is the rest of this stuff moot until we get our approval? Discuss and vote on the technical assistance work plan. Well, that's what you're working on now, right?
Yeah, that's what we discussed right now.
Yeah. So C, scope of work, same thing. Part of that last discussion. D, discussion vote on potholing and mapping.
Same thing,
We won't know that until we get our work plan, right?
correct.
So all this is moot, and we'll carry over number 9 on the agendas. Okay, number 10.
Alrighty,
Discussion.
and this is
Oh.
where we say good night
Adios.
and Merry Christmas and Happy New
Christmas,
Year.
Happy New
brother.
Year.
All right,
And-
Merry
brother,
Christmas and
everything.
Happy New Year to everybody.
All
God
right.
bless you guys.
Good
Thank you for all
Have
your
a
help.
good night.
Thank you.
God
Bye.
bless you. Bye-bye now. Okay, number 10. Discussion, vote, update on Cal OES Community Power Resiliency allocation to special districts grant. A, discussion, vote, update on the purchasing of the generators. Well, I know last week we had already cut the deposit check. Do you have any update, Director Nyman?
I have none. Johnny, do you know anything else?
Yeah, I took the check down, hand delivered it, and he thanked me and he said that he still expects hopefully to get the generators in February. But there was no guarantee at that point. I haven't got an update after that. Now, Tiffany did, I don't know if this is something I have to bring up, but Tiffany caught something on the invoice that they gave us. Did they ever correct that invoice, Tiffany?
I'm trying to remember what that was.
I think that Tiffany, I think the dollar amount just didn't reflect the
that
same
was-
thing.
Yeah, that was Deborah who actually
Oh.
caught that one. And she was saying that the original price that Curtis had quoted for us
Yeah.
was a little bit higher than the actual invoice from PTS Rentals. So we were gonna put like a 40% deposit, and we actually ended up putting like 40.25%. So it's no
Oh,
big
okay.
deal. We just have to make sure that the final payment has that corrected.
Perfect. Thank you, Tiffany.
No problem.
Okay. And can we follow up next week kind of with Curtis and have them follow up with PTS and kind of see where they're at with that?
Yeah, we can try. I think it's still early in the game to do that, but I can certainly try. I got to go down. Actually, I had to take our existing portable generator down to drop it off to be serviced. And so Monday I'm supposed to pick it up so I could actually talk to Greg at PTS himself and ask him what the update is.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that they're moving on it and that they don't, because it's holiday, that they're not, that all of a sudden they just come back and say, oh, well, we can't get it till March or April or something, you know,
Well, I know regardless, he's doing his part, and then what the supplier does is out of his hands, but I'll ask him if he has any kind of update.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
guess we just need to keep on top of it because we don't want to
Well, we
lose that
can't-
money.
Well, we can try, but nobody is going to turn down a $400,000 payout. So I'm sure that they're moving along as quickly as they can, but I can't sweat them every 2 weeks to find out what's going on when it's going to be the supplier that is holding things up. But I'll definitely ask Greg if he could continue to stay on top of it to try to
Right.
give us updates.
My biggest concern is Cal OES and
Oh.
I mean, we've given them an update, so I guess.
Well, we've known that the whole time, and that's why we got the 40% deposit in there. So we've done what we could do, and we'll continue to try.
Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny. B, discussion vote on engineering design. Well, wasn't that when we went all to the higher?
Yeah, we
quality?
need to, we
Yeah.
just need to,
Yeah, and I think that's also on there because D is going to spec out just the pads that we
Okay,
need. So we'll get an update when he gets back.
okay, good. Number 11, discussion vote on community water system COVID relief program. Is that you, Tiffany?
Yeah, there's been no update from the state since we signed that form one more time, Jerry. So I
Okay.
guess we're just waiting. I don't know if they've given final approval or not, but if I hear anything, I'll update at the next meeting.
Cool. Thank you. Number 12, discussion vote on well number 5 blending station and purchasing a nitrate analyzer. Didn't we discuss that this was early on in the game for considering the purchase of them?
No, we decided that the state is making us put the nitrate analyzer on regardless, but doing the tie-in and the blending was going to be put off a little bit. And Jesse is still adamant about that. And Curtis, I seen an email chain where Curtis had spec'd out what we needed. It took a long time to get the quote back from Hawk, who is the supplier through P&J. Curtis responded, well, that's still not what we need. We need what I spec'd out. So now it has to go back or it went back to Hawk, and now we're waiting again for them to respond.
Wow. Okay. So that will be carried over onto our next planning
It will.
meeting.
Yep.
Thank you. Number 13, discussion, review, vote on the employee handbook. Johnny, I think we held this over because of your absence last week. You had some input for it.
Yeah, so now we can start back where we were. Does anybody remember what page that was?
Tiffany said top of page 10.
Correct, top of page 10.
Okay. All right. Who would like to read?
Go ahead, Johnny.
Open door policy.
Yes, sir.
Suggestions for improving the district are always welcome. At some point, you may have a complaint, suggestion, or question about your job, your working conditions, or the treatment you are receiving. Your good faith complaints.
We're on page 10 hiring.
Did I print the wrong one? I mean, I printed the same one I sent to you guys that had my changes. I thought, yeah.
I believe we already did open door policy. That was on page 9 on the one I have. And I have
Yeah, me too.
missing how this goes to the board contacting pass.
Okay, so what's the heading I'm looking for here?
Appointment hiring of employees and hiring.
Okay, I got it.
That's page
Mine
10.
is page 11. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but anyway, appointment, hiring of employees. The general manager is an employee of the district and is appointed by the board of directors to manage the affairs of the district at the direction of the board. The general manager has full authority to employ and discharge employees and assign duties in accordance with the at-will policy described above. Job duties. Upon hiring, your job responsibilities and the performance standards expected of you will be explained to you. Be aware that your job responsibilities may change at any time during your employment. From time to time, you may be asked to work on special projects or to assist with any work necessary or important to the operation of your department or the district. Your cooperation and assistance in performing such additional work is expected. The district reserves the right at any time, with or without notice, to alter or change job responsibilities, reassign or transfer job positions, or assign additional job responsibilities. Physical examination and drug testing. Once an employment offer has been made, prior to beginning work, every person conditionally offered employment by the district shall take a job-related physical examination by a district authorized physician to determine whether the applicant is capable of safely performing the essential functions of the position he or she has been offered. In addition, all employees in positions which involve public safety or whose actions could endanger the health and safety of others may be required to undergo a pre-employment drug test. Any prospective employee who tests positive indicating use of illegal drugs or refuses to submit to a test is ineligible for employment. I don't know if we should change that maybe to you will undergo a pre-employment drug test, because that's how we do it.
Okay.
And maybe we need to fix something here on the line. Any prospective employee who tests positive indicating use of illegal drugs also needs to be changed to the new marijuana laws, saying whether it's illegal drugs or marijuana, you'll be ineligible for employment.
You also have to put in alcohol.
I think
Well,
we need
that's a given, yeah. But I mean, if somebody tested positive for alcohol at their drug screen, then Yeah, I don't know. I suppose they'd be fired for that
I
too. Yeah.
think we need to run that by the attorney because I think there's probably legal wording that needs to be in
I
there.
agree.
And I also think that the reason it says may be required, that doesn't change. You keep whispering when I'm talking, Johnny.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. So yeah, I think it may need to stay maybe because of just I don't know. That's something we need to ask both of those
Okay,
portions.
so Tiffany, can you highlight that as a question mark?
Yes, I will.
Cool. Water certification. Certain positions require the attainment of California certification for water treatment or water distribution. Some employees will be hired with the understanding that they have 1 year from the date of hire to obtain such certification. Once obtained, the certification must be maintained. The district will reimburse employees for the costs associated with obtaining and maintaining these certifications. Employee classifications. Regular employees. Regular employees are those who are hired to work on a regular schedule. Regular employees may be classified as full-time or part-time. Full-time employees. Regular full-time employees are those who are scheduled for and do work 40 hours per week and are not temporary employees. Regular full-time employees are eligible for most employee benefits described in this handbook. Part-time employees. Part-time employees are those who are scheduled for and do work fewer than 40 hours per week, but not fewer than 20 hours. Part-time employees are only eligible for certain benefits. Temporary employees. Temporary employees are those employed for short-term assignments. Short-term assignments generally are periods of 3 months or fewer. However, such assignments may be extended. Temporary employees are not eligible for employee benefits except those mandated by applicable law. Exempt employees. Exempt employees are exempt from the overtime provisions of the Federal Fair Labor Standards Act. If you're an exempt employee, you will be so advised by the district. That's me. Non-exempt employees. Non-exempt employees are those who are covered by the overtime provisions of the Federal Fair Labor Standards Act. Unless you are advised otherwise, you are a non-exempt employee. All right. Leaves of absence. Sick leave. As of July 1st, 2015, California law provides for mandatory paid sick leave under the Healthy Workplaces, Healthy Families Act, the Act. This paid sick leave policy is intended to comply with the requirements of the Act. Employees cannot be discriminated or retaliated against for requesting or using accrued paid sick time. If you have
Just a note here before you go on, I believe that there are some new COVID items that are not here, and we need to add those.
Yeah, and it's not just COVID, but the policy for sick leave has changed since 2015, so we need to make a note to get the current law on that.
Correct.
Okay, eligible employees. This is also something we're going to have to check because it's referring to the law in 2015. Beginning July 1st, 2015, all employees who have worked for California for the same employer for 30 or more days within a year from the start of their employment will be entitled to paid sick time. However, employees are not eligible to take paid sick time until they have worked for the district for 90 days from their date of hire. Sick pay amount. Eligible employees can earn sick leave at the rate of 1.25 hours of paid sick time for every week of employment. At a minimum, employees will earn at least 3 days of the 24 hours of paid sick time every 12 months. That also has to be checked, and it'll come up later on to the accrual rate. I know on vacation was wrong since we changed from 5/8 to 4/10. Our attorney pointed it out to me, so that's going to be something that we're going to have to check on. Just what the accrual rate is. For some reason, it changes when you work 4/10s as opposed to 5/8. Exempt employees are presumed to work 40 hours per work week for purposes of sick time accrual. If their normal work week is less than 40 hours, accrual will be based on their normal work week.
Okay.
Now this next line that I struck out, the district does not pay employees for unused paid sick leave. Employees who are rehired with the 1 year of separation from employment may be eligible for reinstatement of previously accrued paid sick time. That needs to be either stricken or reworded, because every time an employee is left, the attorneys have said that regardless of what the policy is, they tell us to pay all sick leave and vacation accrual. So that's something that we could also run by the attorney. And also for because you guys agreed to cash out up to down to 30 hours, so that's going to have to be
Well,
reworded.
I don't know that we
there
ever
for-
discussed that, Johnny. I mean,
Brian, you always okay. Wait, just wait. You've set it in stone in board meetings where, because you argued that people have to have sick leave, so it was set for they had to save at least 30 hours of sick leave, and they could cash out anything up to that. That was voted on by the board. Tiffany can find it, and if this may be one of them things that we have to go ahead and just defer till later, because I know you voted on it.
Well, I don't remember voting on it. I would like to see that, because I personally don't think that sick leave should be accrued to the hours, and that should be where they stay. They shouldn't be able to just accrue to cash out sick time.
Okay, the reason why this came up was because if you have employees like me personally, right now, I'm so short of employees. If employees accrue their sick leave and they're going to lose it or not be able to use it, to them, it's loss of money, because it's always been like that. So loss of money means they're going to say, well, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to go ahead and take 3 weeks off. I got a cough. And then they're going to leave, and they're going to leave me in a lurch. So if they're not actually sick, it benefits the company hugely to just say, fine, we'll go ahead and let you cash out that as long as you leave enough for when you're actually sick. So then I'm not left like I've been left multiple times in the last 5 years with no employees because they're using up their time. It's an incentive to the
I'm
employees
remembering
to
this
work.
conversation.
Yeah. You guys voted on it already, but we could, I mean, everything's up for revote, but that's my argument on it. The employees do not, well, no employee wants to willingly give up something that's rightfully given to them. And if you pay it out upon termination, that means that it is a right to paid time off. So let them cash out what they need to help them out. And then they won't have the blue flu and leave us in a lurch just so they don't lose their paid time off.
Well, isn't there a requirement to have a note from a doctor after 3 days?
Okay,
Yes.
Again, after a certain amount of time, that is absolutely true. But again, now you're getting back into the situation where if you guys just make it the policy, there's no bad feelings, there's no bad vibes. If you start to create that type of environment over something that we would pay out if they quit or get fired, what's the point in that? That's what I don't understand. It's something that's rightfully given to them as part of the perk of working for the company. If you take that away, why do that? I don't understand what your purpose is, as long as they have to maintain enough sick time to where if they get sick.
Yeah, that makes sense. Can we go on?
Unless that needs to be, I mean,
I think all of this is gonna have to get run by the attorney, so I think we should put a little star here as well. Because I do, if the attorney is always telling us that we're to pay out all of the accrued sick leave upon their exit from the company, then I think that we should have their take on, because you're right, we've been doing that, and we did talk about this previously. So, but I do think we need to run it by the attorney, and I also think we need to consider what a normal amount of sick leave would be, because here's the problem with like COVID. I know they're allowed like a family, but it's paid family leave now.
it's entirely different. I mean, that the latest changes I haven't seen, but initially it had nothing to do with their sick leave. If they got exposed or they got COVID, they got 10 days at home, 10 working days at home. That was on us.
Paid, correct?
Paid, yeah, not even required to come first from their sick leave. That was a requirement, and it also was a protection against somebody, coming in, because they're asymptomatic, but they know they have COVID, but they don't want to lose out on their PTO. So
Exactly. I get that. But I just want to make sure that 30 hours is what the attorney would consider. I mean, we need to
reasonable,
run,
yeah.
but yeah, we
Well,
need to.
Yeah.
And what I would say is that maybe they need to keep more sick time, because I mean, how long does it take to accrue 240 hours of sick pay? Do you do that
Well, not
yearly?
really. Well, no, it's accrued at the rate of 1.25 hours of paid sick time for every week that they work. So every week they work, they get 1.25 hours of paid sick leave.
Right.
If they get sick, but what I'm saying, if they accrue it and they use their paid sick leave and they still need to take extra time, that's just on their dime now. Now they're losing out. So it's up to the employee.
What I'm saying, Johnny, is that so it takes them, they only get about 50 hours a year.
I think
maybe 100
the handbook
hours.
says, I think the handbook says, is it 2 weeks, Tiffany, or 1 week? Paid sick leave.
How much, it says right here, or 24 hours of paid sick time every 12 months, but it also says at least 3 days. 3 days for us is 30 hours. So there's another correction.
Yeah, and that's at the minimum.
Right,
That's
yeah.
what they accrue.
Or
So
at least 3 days or 24 hours. But that might be another question too.
yeah, see, I mean, we could definitely ask him how to word it the best, but if I don't want to encourage the use of sick time just for the sake of sick time. And if an employee, where everybody's adults, if you say you want to cash out everything but 50 hours, more power to you. If you say you want to cash out everything but 30 hours, that's on you. At the 30-hour point, if you're sick for 4 or 5 days and you have to lose a cut in your pay, that's on you. That's not our job to babysit how they manage their money.
That makes sense.
So what I'm saying, we just need to have him word how that should be worded and
how many
confirm,
hours
and listen, and confirm that 30 hours is a sufficient amount legally to retain.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that they have to have the legal amount.
Right.
But again, it goes back to we're legally required to provide a certain amount. We're not legally required to make sure that they retain that amount. Otherwise, every time they got sick, they'd say, "Oh well, you're legally required to give me 30 hours." That's why it's worded that way, because we're only required to give it to them. What they do with it is another matter. So we'll have their attorney look at that. So
yeah.
Cap
Okay.
cap on accrual. Employees may earn a maximum of 240 hours of paid sick time. After an employee has reached this maximum amount, no additional paid sick time will be earned until summer. All of the employees' accrued paid sick time is used. Now, this right here is something that I should have caught the first time we did this. It's never been upheld. Since the entire time I've been there, Greg never put in a cap on it. And the only one that ever had that situation where there was a huge surplus of paid sick time was Judy. When Judy got sick, she had months of paid sick time, and then we still donated sick time to her to help her. But so I don't know if you want to keep the cap at 240 hours of paid sick time, or if an employee is exceptionally committed and doesn't ever use their sick time or cash it out, then we just don't worry about a cap on it. But that's something that you guys need to vote on.
But Johnny, does that mean that the guys are coming to work sick?
What is it? No, it just means some people don't get sick. Some people don't want to take a sick leave. Some people don't wake up and go, "Oh, I feel a little under the weather. I'm not going to work," because we work in an industry that most of the time you have to come to work. If it ain't COVID, you have to go to work. Nobody's going to read your route for you. Nobody's going to put the clamp on for you. So if you're able to work, we allow them to come in and work.
Well, then you're spreading other viruses.
That's been the history of my whole.
That either.
Okay, but we can't make them take a sick time if they're just feeling under the weather. That's not honest. We're not We're not doctors. If somebody comes in with a headache and they don't want to take sick leave or they have sniffles, I'm not going to send them home and make them use their sick leave. If I do that, then that means we have to pay them for their time. It's never been an issue. I mean, it's like a debate over
But you're saying,
nothing.
go ahead, come on in when you're sick. It doesn't matter if you're spreading it because you don't want to use your sick time, but eventually we're going to pay them their sick time anyway.
Okay, now wait a minute. You're bringing up a subject that doesn't even pertain to what this paragraph has. The paragraph states simply whether there's a maximum amount of accrued sick leave. It has nothing in here that we need to discuss about whether or not I have to play doctor and dictate who stays home.
Okay,
Nor does it encourage people to come in sick. It's just some people don't get sick and they come into work.
I think if we try to dictate social behavior, we could get in legal problems, Terry.
We had some rules for these discussions. I don't have them in front of me. I know that we agreed on them.
Let the attorney decide, but this isn't an attorney. The attorney is only going to tell you legally you could do it either way. You guys just have to decide on the paragraph, not on any extraneous stuff. On the paragraph, do you want to put a cap on maximum sick leave or you don't? If you do, vote on it and we'll initiate that.
I think we should. I think we should leave a cap on the sick time, and so then the people just need, if they're managing their sick time, then they're going to have to cash some of that out so they don't lose it. So if they're getting close to 240 hours, then maybe they need to put in a request to cash out 40 hours or 100 hours so that they stay, so that they don't lose it.
Right, and
sounds good.
In truth, it may be an obsolete work ethic that, Judy was old school. And this may be approaching being obsolete.
The reason why hello, can I say something?
Please, Director Schoenberg.
Cutting me off and I'm not able to say anything. Maybe we need to institute raising hands. Wow.
Nobody's cutting you off.
No, I know. Someone burped and I thought that was like really inappropriate too. Okay, so the reason why a company might institute this is so that you don't get this huge amount of money when someone leaves or when that you need to pay out all at one time that you haven't adjusted the budget for.
Okay, so and Brahma's suggestion would cover that. So I mean that does make sense. So we'll just add a blurb in there about the cap, and unless we don't even have to add cash out to it. We just leave that in there, and if they cash it out, fine. If they don't, fine too. Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
It must have been voted on originally, so we don't have to re-vote on it. So qualifying reasons for paid sick leave. Paid sick time can be used for the following reasons: diagnosis, care, or treatment of an existing health condition for an employee or a covered family member as defined below. Preventative care for an employee or an employee's covered family member for certain specified purposes when the employee is a victim of domestic violence, sexual assault, or stalking. For purposes of paid sick leave, a covered family member includes a child defined as a biological foster or adopted child, a stepchild, or a legal ward, regardless of the age or dependency status of the child. A child may also may be someone for whom you have accepted the duties and responsibilities of raising, even if he or she is not your legal child. A parent defined as a biological foster or adopted parent, a step parent or legal guardian of an employee or the employee's spouse or registered domestic partner. A parent may also be someone who accepted the duties and responsibilities of raising you when you were a minor child, even if he or she is not your legal parent. A spouse, a registered domestic partner, a grandparent, a grandchild, a sibling. Use of paid sick leave. If the need for paid sick leave is foreseeable, employees shall provide advance oral or written notification to the general manager. If the need for paid sick leave is not foreseeable, employees shall provide notice to the general manager as soon as practicable. An employee's use of paid sick leave may run concurrently with other leaves under local, state, or federal law. Incremental use. Paid sick leave can be used in 1 hour increments. Paid sick leave and workers' compensation benefits. Paid sick leave is a benefit that also covers absences for work-related illness or injury. Employees who have a work-related injury or illness or injury are covered by workers' compensation insurance. However, workers' compensation benefits usually do not cover absences for medical treatment. When you report a work-related illness or injury, you will be sent for medical treatment. If treatment is necessary, you will be paid your regular wages for the time you spend seeking initial medical treatment. Can somebody else read? I'm starting to lose my breath a little bit from asthma.
Director Kelly, would you like to read?
I can try.
Please.
Any further medical treatment will be under the direction of the healthcare provider. Any absences from work for follow-up treatment, physical therapy, or other prescribed appointments will not be paid as time worked. If you have accepted and if you have accrued and unused paid sick leave, the additional absences from work will be paid with the use of paid sick leave. If you do not have accrued paid sick leave, or if you have used all of your sick leave, you may choose to substitute vacation or further absences from work related to your illness or injury. Vacation. Note, accrual rate must change due to the 410s.
Yeah. So this whole section right here that's highlighted, the attorney already sent me the actual accrual rates because these don't work out right. I believe I sent them to Lisa and Brown. I could resend them again, but whatever his accrual we'll have to insert here. And then we also have to go back to when we went to 410s and find out what if any difference there was in the accrual of the vacation time during that period.
Johnny, can you use those same numbers for the sick time?
No, you accrue more sick or more vacation than you do sick. And it depends on your amount of time working for the company. At 1 year, up to 1 year, you get 1 week. 2 years, you get 2 weeks. And at 5 years, you get 3 weeks vacation. So the accrual rates change for each category, and it changes somehow. I still don't understand it. Oh, actually, I think our auditors is the one that came up with the actual accrual rates of what they should be to meet that standard of how many. So anyway, that section, you can skip that section. And then when I get it.
Can we back up before we finish that? Just to the last portion of further medical treatment if it's work comp related, because I believe that we're not following this. It says that we do not pay. It says initially, if someone is injured, you're paid your regular wages for the time you spend seeking the initial medical treatment.
Yeah.
Further medical treatment will be under the direction of the healthcare provider, and any absences from work for follow-up treatment, physical therapy, or other prescribed appointments will not be paid as time worked.
And we've been paying.
Yes, I believe.
No, well, the only one that we paid any amount of time was when there was a rolled. I'm not.
Okay.
When there was a rolled ankle that required treatment, the time that person lost just during that treatment, we paid for. We didn't pay for anybody else, and the person that did that didn't get any workman's comp benefits.
But aren't we?
So when they go for physical therapy, they clock out and they're not getting paid, correct?
Everybody except for the one I just mentioned. That was a different scenario entirely, but personally, I don't care either. I mean, you can make that standard that if you're on workman's comp, then you're going to have to get reimbursed by workman's comp for the time you go get the treatment. But everybody else, once they go on workman's comp covers all of it. We pay nothing.
Is this only talking about workman's comp, or is this talking about? Okay,
No, they go to doctor's appointments. They got to use an hour of sick leave.
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, they go to doctor's appointment or leave an hour early to go to doctor. That's sick leave time. It's not vacation.
Okay. Everybody in the company has, if they take time off to go to a doctor or something, they pay with their paid time off. They use their paid time off.
Yeah, whatever it is.
We have not been paying anybody to go to doctor's appointments, with the exception of the one person that continued working the whole time. And if they had to take an hour off, we paid for that hour because they weren't doing the full-on workman's comp thing. If you want me to start doing that,
they were working with us. We were working with them. Know what you're saying?
Exactly. And if you guys want me to be, more stringent, that's the first time that has ever happened in the whole time I've been there. Hopefully it'll never happen again. But if it does and you want me to, I'll just go ahead and do that. But every time we get a gig against workman's comp, it counts and raises our premiums. And it raises our premiums and it does all that stuff. So
that's not the issue, Johnny. The issue I'm bringing up is that we're not consistent, and it needs to be written in the handbook. And this is what gets us in trouble every single time.
How are we not consistent? This is the one time. It's the only time it's ever happened.
Wait. Okay,
so that's consistent, right?
Then we should put that in the handbook in case the one time is another time that it happens for somebody else.
Or we could just leave it at that, and you get one paid trip to the doctor, and if it's anything more than that, we let workman's comp deal with it, because I'm fine with that too.
But you've already done it a different way.
It doesn't. None of that matters. We're reviewing the employee handbook when you guys finalize this. Moving forward, everybody's going to be trained in the new handbook, and that's how it goes. It doesn't matter what happened prior. The revised handbook means we're going another path, a better path, and a new improved path, and those are the rules as they stand.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that. Do you want to leave that right there? Let's just leave it. I think it's a good rule.
Why don't we end this discussion? Didn't we vote about a half hour per meeting?
Yeah, we did.
This has been a good, healthy half-hour discussion.
Perfect. So we could stop at the highlighted area right there.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. What page is that?
Well,
page 14.
On your book, it's 14.
Excellent.
So the only question I would have, because if somebody chooses not to do workman's comp, how long do we continue to give them paid time?
It's not having that anymore. Again, we just decided we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, well, we never have. She did workman's comp. She filed the workman's comp initially. Workman's comp paid all their medical bills. It was just the time covered to go to the treatment. We would never pay somebody if somebody gets injured and I encourage everybody to do workman's comp. You got to report it. You got to go get treatment. If you do it was a one-time deal. She had to go to a few doctor's appointments to get therapy on it. We just paid for the hour or two that she lost to go to the appointment. From this point forward, we're just going to stick with the way that's spelled out.
Okay.
Okay.
Good with that?
All right.
Table it. Okay. Everybody want to recess, or shall we keep going?
I'm good with going.
I'm good with going.
Continue.
Number 14. Discussion vote on establishing and reforming the ad hoc committees. We just eliminated them, I thought. Anybody have discussion on this?
No, we did not eliminate. And there are ad hocs that are needed, and some of the ad hocs are not necessarily an easy, quick fit to put on, to switch seats on. So one in particular would be the book asset stuff that we're doing. Another one would be the budget. Another one would be the, so we had rolled everything into this financial ad hoc. However, we do want to be able to train some, we don't want, just because it's complicated, to not allow someone who's willing to participate. So I think, the issue came up with, so we changed seats. So now we have Director Nyman's the treasurer. And I believe that Director Kelling was interested in doing at least the learning, the portion where you go in on a bi-monthly, whatever that is, twice a month, to check all of our bills and to make sure that they're classified correctly, and work with our bookkeeper on making sure that all the checks make sense and all of that. So
I thought I was going to be on that one.
You and Director Kelly, right?
no,
Yeah, I think that was.
no,
correct.
that's completely separate ad hoc. The ad hoc, no, that has to be someone who's already been doing it, which Director Nyman's already been doing it. So it can't be.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, we're on the back check thing.
Yeah, that hasn't happened yet. So in January, you both are on an ad hoc that we established that is going to go back and check to see if we've made any other mistakes.
Right.
So that's completely different than the ongoing monthly checks. That's sort of it shouldn't be an ongoing thing for too long, but it's going back and double checking, because we had an issue with our automatic check deposit machine, and we need to go back and take a look at, since we've had that, to make sure that we haven't had the same issue that we didn't catch.
Forgive me
So,
for interrupting. Sorry.
but there's a number of other ad hocs that need to also happen. At one point, we rolled everything but the ad hoc that you and Director Kelling are on into a financial ad hoc. So the question is, do we want to unroll the financial ad hoc and to include, for instance, Director Kelling working with Director Nyman on all of the
The
bills,
checks, the
check-
bills, and the classification of the bills.
but there's still multiple other things that I think are not a quick, like I would recommend that Director Nyman and I stay on the book assets, since we've already done a grip of that, and we already worked with the person from RCAC, and that we kind of stay on that committee. There's the project ad hoc. I mean, there's all kinds of ad hoc. So it's just something, you guys brought this up, wanting to potentially reform it, but I don't know, so I think probably what needs to happen is that it gets ungrouped, because right now everything's grouped into one ad hoc, and then, if there's willing people, that they can be on those different committees. But I would suggest that at least one person who's been currently doing it stay on each of the committees. Otherwise, I don't know how people would possibly know what's going on.
Right. Excellent.
Well, I do not want to be on the budget committee.
I'll be on the budget committee.
Okay, so what I would suggest is that we undo the financial ad hoc committee, and that we come up, and we may not be able to do this tonight necessarily, but that we, or if we want to do it tonight, that we write down all of the different things that we've been doing, like the project committee, the budget committee.
Chart of ad hocs.
Right,
Absolutely.
and then we assign people, keeping in mind that at least one person who's currently been doing it needs to remain on. And frankly, I'm not real thrilled with having to completely teach someone and do the committee, some of these things. So some of them, I'm not sure. That's like twice the work. So, so I think, you can unban things like the budget committee, but I'm not sure I want to start all over again on some of these things like the project committee. I don't know. It's a lot
Well,
of,
can I tell you what I have a concern about?
Please, Director Gibson, take the floor.
My concern is in the distant future, when it's not the board members that are on the ad hoc right now, when we're not part of this anymore, is that we haven't set a precedent for, I think if one ad hoc's in charge of everything financial, could that create a problem down the line? Is that bipartisan or less? Is it not bipartisan, but
I don't think it's good. That happened because other people weren't willing. And it also happened because there's a steep learning curve and you need to put in a lot of hours. So rather than relying on one single person to do all, right now, it's been fairly equitable in terms of how much time each person is putting onto the ad hoc. So I'm just saying, I don't think it's good to have just one committee. That was kind of born out of necessity. So I think if, the only way that people are going to learn, so, it was brought up last time that Director Kelling couldn't just easily step into treasurer because she doesn't have enough background to step into treasurer. So if she's working with the treasurer, then she may have enough knowledge to step into the treasurer next time. So I think in that sense,
I think there's a problem with personalities. There's a problem with people feeling not valued. I've watched it when there's been other members on the board, when someone has been their input has been challenged in such a way that they didn't want to do it anymore. But this was a long time ago. I just think it's problematic what we have going, and it's starting to seem very one-sided. In my opinion,
I disagreed with everything you said, so I'm not sure where that's going. I think we should just list all the ad hocs. What I said is that I think Director Kelling should be doing, if she's interested in being treasurer, while there's a treasurer that can show what needs to happen, that person sit on the committee. There's some committees, like the project committee, I think it might be, I don't know, it might be problematic because it's already been going, but maybe not. I don't know. So I'm saying some are going to be harder than others, and the learning curve is greater than others, and there's more work to be done than others.
Let me get a point of clarification, Director Schoenberg. Who is on the project ad hoc at this time?
Director Nyman and myself.
Okay. I'm thinking I would like to work with you if Director Nyman feels overwhelmed or just has enough work on his hands to meet with you and learn what you've got going on it, because you have a lot of coverage and I'd like to have a little bit more coverage. So if that is acceptable to the board, then I would throw my hat into the ring for the ad hoc project ad hoc. I don't know if you're willing or would like to work with me or not, but there's that.
I mean, I'm okay with, what is the project ad hoc? That's what, the state update meeting, Lisa?
Yeah. The state update meeting. things that have to do with various projects we've got going on. So mostly it was the planning, but now we've got multiple projects going on at the same time. So that doesn't have anything to do specifically like with financial stuff like the budget. So there's at least two people that need to work on the budget, but one person needs to know enough to be able to show the other person what to do on the budget. Otherwise, it becomes what happened. We separated it off into a couple people working on the budget with Linda Wilkie, or a couple people working with Linda Wilkie when she was here on. And it was problematic because she didn't know enough and the committee didn't know enough. So I'm just saying, I think it can split up, but there should always be at least one person that's done that. So someone who's done the budget before that understands the budget should be able to understand.
Well, I've already said I'm not willing to do the budget. I don't want to do the budget.
Right. So can we just list all of the different ad hocs and then we can figure out what's going on?
I think you and Brahma probably need to sit down and
I think
figure out what it is that you guys are doing, so we can separate them out.
We can do it right now.
Okay.
Okay, we need a budget ad hoc. So does someone want to write this down, or Tiffany, or somebody that?
I'll write it.
Okay, so there's always a budget ad hoc that's needed, and ad hocs can only ever be two people. So that just always means that there's going to be two people on that. There's a financial, like a main financial. We just roll them all together because they were all sort of intertwined, but they don't need to be, because we're starting to straighten out some of the stuff having another bookkeeper. So there's, the ad hoc, for lack of a better term, we're calling it the financial ad hoc right now. And that is every couple of weeks previous to the meeting, people go in and check all of the bills and know how to class all the bills correctly. And so they work with the chart of accounts and just check to make sure that we're doing things correctly and we're filling out the checks correctly and all of that stuff. The treasurer does all the like transfers and stuff. So that's just something the treasurer does. It's not really an ad hoc.
But that's something during the ad hoc we could still discuss. Like if Director Kelling was with me, I could say, this is what I need to do this week. And that way she could learn that so that she can become the treasurer.
Right. Then so that's two ad hocs. Then there's the book asset detail, which is a mess. That's that thing where I started doing this whole, it hasn't been finished, and that same ad hoc was working with David from RCAC in order to do the Prop 218 and all of that stuff. So that's a completely separate task that needs two people to do. So there's some work that's been done on it. RCAC hasn't come back to us with their suggestions, and we have not finished completely separately. It's a project that is for Deborah as well. We need to go over all of our assets. And
can I interrupt really quickly and just add that whoever is on that ad hoc, RCAC, David's going to be here Monday to address the last of the questions he has. He says he's basically ready to turn it into a presentation.
That's great that he's just going to show up. I'm not here Monday, so okay. So
well, I was just throwing it out there because I pressured him for not being around, and he says, "Well, I can show up Monday to get the final stuff. He needs current payroll stuff like that, and a few more questions about the fees he's working on." So it wasn't a required meeting with people, but whoever's available could do it.
Okay. Anyway, that's a separate ad hoc that we need to assign. Okay, and then there's okay, so that's, let's see, the project, the book asset, the financial one that goes over the stuff. And the project could be broken up into multiple ad hocs. It was just one because people weren't doing it. So it can be broken up.
Well, I think the thing is you have the state update meeting at that the thing is that that meeting, you discuss all three projects with the state, though. That's the issue.
I agree. I think that ad hoc needs to stay as one ad hoc. I don't know how you could blend it, blend them and still have everybody show up.
So if Jerry wants to go on that particular ad hoc, then I'm willing to step away from that. Because the thing is that because when we do the state update, we go over the pipeline, we go over the meter replacement and the new well and Lake of the Woods planning.
And
So that-
Brahma's been the one leading that meeting, and I'm not really willing to lead it every time. So you'd be leading the meeting as well.
And Carlos kind of provides an agenda with that.
It's like it's having a whole nother meeting that you don't get paid for.
Well, you do get paid for it because normally it's the week before our meeting. The only reason it fell this time was because we changed the date because of the holiday.
It fell twice, yeah, but it falls other times too. But yes,
Yeah,
okay,
occasionally,
so
yeah.
you need to be willing to do a whole nother meeting, sometimes on the same day as the regular meeting. And then I think that's the ad hocs, because we dissolved the one that was meeting with the different water companies. So that's not happening right now. Eventually, if we get back together to discuss the pipe with Tajon, that needs to be an ad hoc, but that isn't moving forward right at this moment because we have way too many things on our plate. So I think people just need to say who wants to do what, and we need to vote on it. So I think the first thing we need to do is dissolve all the ad hocs that are rolled into one right now and change them to the whatever we want to call each specific one.
Okay.
So we just need someone to move that we dissolve. I don't think I think it should be somebody else that's not on those ad hocs. So I would just have somebody move that we dissolve. Why don't we just dissolve all the current ad hocs except for the Kelling, the one that Kelling and that hasn't even started yet, that Kelling and Gibson are on, because that's already a separate ad hoc.
Okay, I move that we dissolve.
Yeah, well, you're on all these ad hocs.
Okay, somebody else do it. Sorry.
Well, I can't.
I can.
Oh yeah, you can, because you're only on the one ad hoc that we're not dissolving. I'm proposing that we don't dissolve the Kelling Gibson ad hoc that you're already
I understand,
on. That hasn't even.
but I'm the president.
Oh yeah, you're not supposed to do it.
Hey, too many chiefs, not enough Indians.
I move that we dissolve the project financial ad hoc.
Yeah, the project ad hoc separate. So there's project and the financial. The financial has got multiple things all rolled into one.
I move that we dissolve the project and financial ad hoc. That we dissolve that one.
What I'm saying is
It's multiple.
I'm saying it's already two separate ad hocs, so you're dissolving. Just move that you dissolve both of those ad hocs. and then rebuild them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying they're two separate ad hocs right now.
And that's what I said. I said that I move that we dissolve the project and the financial ad hocs.
Yeah, it's just the ad
Two
hoc.
separate motions. I can do two separate motions.
No, I don't think we
No,
need.
just one.
You were just saying ad hoc. Sorry, I didn't hear the plural. So my
Do I have a second?
I guess I'm gonna second it because we have to have someone to second it, so. And Jerry's the chairman today, so he can't second it, so I second it.
Okay. Director Nyman has seconded that motion. Roll call of directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
I
Director Garcia is an aye. 5-0-0. Motion carried. Number 15, discussion vote on renewing.
Oh, wait,
we
we've
need
got
to
to,
build all the ad hoc.
so we have to do the new ad hocs.
I move that we create a financial ad hoc. Director,
Aren't you going to be on that?
that's
Okay,
true.
so,
Okay.
so here, I'll start out because I'm not gonna be on this. I move that we, create a budget ad hoc to include Director Schoenberg.
No, it
And-
doesn't include me. Other people have done the budget.
Okay, well, okay, who wants to be on the budget ad hoc?
I will.
That's one director. We need two.
I don't understand enough about the budget.
Well, Lisa, I thought you were going to be part of it since you've been on it before.
Passing the baton.
You've been on it before too. So I absolutely need to be on the book asset one. And I
Okay,
think
I don't think I could lead a budget committee, a budget ad hoc. And, you know, I've watched somebody else do the budget and they got smeared. And so I'm nervous about it. I would like to do it under you one more time. And if that's not possible, great. Then I don't want to be on the ad hoc.
no one else wants to. Okay, I'm fine. I'll do that.
Okay, so I make a motion that we create a budget ad hoc to include Director Schoenberg and Director Gibson.
Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Director Kelly has seconded the motion. Roll call of directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Wait.
Gibson, you should abstain. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, abstain, sorry.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Abstain.
Director Garcia is an aye. 3-0-2 abstentions. Motion carried. Okay,
Aye.
I'd
Okay,
like to move
I-
that.
Okay, go ahead. Go
I'd
ahead.
like to move that we create a financial ad hoc, which is not including the budget, which would go over the bills. If I don't know if we should still call it financial because that's some word. Why don't we
About the
call it
monthly billing.
the billing ad hoc? That sounds good. So
Accounts payable?
accounts payable ad hoc, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, because actually the other ad hoc that Gibson and Kelling are on is not accounts payable, it's accounts receivable.
Right.
So I move that we create an accounts payable ad hoc. And would recommend that Director Nyman and Director Kelling be on that.
Do I have a second?
How does that work? We
Can I
can't,
second it?
you'll have to.
You'll have to.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
second it.
Okay, Director Gibson. I second the motion. Roll call of directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
I abstain.
Director Nyman,
Abstain.
Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Garcia is an aye. 3-0, 2 abstentions.
Okay,
Director Nyman.
I make a motion that we create the state, what do we call it? State update meeting? Or the
Project meeting.
project, what do you want to call it, Lisa? Project committee?
It's been called the Project Ad Hoc, but I don't
Okay,
know.
so I say that we create the project committee that includes the state update meeting. And I propose that Director Schoenberg and Director Garcia be on that.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Director Kelly has seconded the motion. Roll call of directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Abstain.
Director Garcia, I abstained. 3-0, 2 abstentions. Motion carried.
So while we're doing this, can we change the name of the, I don't remember what we called it, but the ad hoc that Kelling and Gibson are on to just go back through. Do you remember what we called that, Tiffany? Can we call that since we have accounts payable, can we call that accounts receivable in case that comes up again where we need to audit the accounts receivable? Like maybe accounts receivable audit ad hoc? I'm just throwing that out there since I don't remember what it's even called.
Makes sense to me.
Okay, I'm just suggesting we change the name, not the people who are a part of that ad hoc.
I make a motion that we change the name of the audit committee for Rebecca Gibson and Director Kelling to Accounts Receivable Audit Ad Hoc.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Director Schoenberg has seconded. Roll call of directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Oh, abstain?
Yeah, abstain.
Thank you. Correct that. Director Kelly,
I abstain.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Garcia is an aye. 3-0, 2 abstentions. Motion carried. Okay, now we go to number 15.
No, we still have
One more?
the book asset.
Okay,
I move that we create a book asset ad hoc with Director Nyman and Director Schoenberg.
do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Director Gibson has seconded that motion. Roll call of directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Abstain.
Director Schoenberg,
Abstain.
Director Garcia is an aye. 3-0, 2 abstentions. Motion carried.
So I think that's all the current ones that we have been doing.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, let's try number 15 now. Discussion vote on renewing the cross connection control agreement.
We still are doing.
I'm sorry,
The
Director
218.
Nyman?
Does that include the 218?
Yeah, the you and I, the book asset ad hoc would include, I'm sorry, yeah, I probably should say, it should probably be,
We need to amend that.
yeah, we need to amend the name of it.
Director Kelly, can you,
I move that we amend the book asset ad hoc to read book asset 218 ad hoc.
I accept that friendly amendment.
Excellent, excellent. Second, accept, re-second it.
The seconder accepted the amendment.
Perfect, excellent.
I think that
So
was-
are we in the books now? We have to re-vote. I think we're good, right?
yeah, we're good.
Okay. Discussion vote on renewing the cross connection control agreement. Is that you, Johnny?
Sorry about that. Yeah, I thought we'd already approved this. It's just re-signing for another year of the cross connection control agreement. The guy that, Dave Wasserman. So I'd recommend you sign it.
Yeah.
No changes.
I thought we did because he said he even kept the price the same and
Yeah, I thought we did too, but he never got a copy of it. And then Tiffany checked and apparently we never finalized it. We talked about it, but didn't.
okay,
Actually,
well,
proceed with it.
I'll entertain a motion to that effect.
I will make a motion that we accept the contract for cross connection control.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Director Kelly has seconded that motion. Roll call.
Shoot, I made a
Director.
motion I shouldn't have. No.
No. Okay.
Sorry.
I'll make a motion that we accept the agreement for implementation of cross connection control program with CCSS.
And do I have a second?
I will second that.
Director Kelly has seconded that motion. Roll call of directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Oh, aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Garcia is an aye. 5-0-0, motion carried. Number 16, discussion and vote on modified services in response to COVID-19. That you, Tiffany? Is that you, Johnny?
I think I threw that on there.
Yeah, I'm
just to see
wondering,
going forward.
I'm wondering if we, California now has instituted a mandate on masks in all indoor environments. I don't know, current seems to do whatever they do, but it is a statewide mandate, so I don't know if we need to add that or what we're gonna do about that. I also don't know if we want to wait and to shut the office again, or if, they're talking about things being really, really bad at the beginning of January.
I would rather wait. They've been doing these scare tactics continually, and San Francisco was given a waiver. They don't even have to mask up in all of San Francisco, even with all their homeless stuff. So,
Why is that?
yeah, because they decided that they're more likely to be vaccinated than the rest of California. So all of San Francisco got a waiver of the mask mandate.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
Okay. So we
So
want to
until it
extend it
seems-
another month?
Yeah, I'd just say let's continue on par for another month.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for that.
We can mandate if certain board members come in that are concerned about it. I would put on masks just as a courtesy if a board member comes in and wants people to wear a mask. I ain't got a problem with it, but we have 6 air purifiers throughout that office. So I'm pretty confident in our cleanliness in the office.
I make a motion that we continue with the current modified services in response to COVID-19.
Do I have a second? You want to let this motion die? Apparently. Okay, no second. Moving on
Well,
to
could I
number
second it?
Yeah, no second is a problem because then what does that mean if we vote on it? This is one we agreed to vote on every single month, correct?
Right.
So if we don't vote on it, then it means that it goes away completely. doesn't it?
Right.
And what's the current modified services, Tiffany? Can you read that? Do you have it in front of you?
You know what? I don't have it in front of me. I know it was just that we had reinstated late fees. We charge for in-house credit card use, but not for online credit card use. I think it's always said.
We
for
require
people to wear
masks
a mask.
for people to come in to wear a
Yeah,
mask,
that's always
but the
been on
office
there.
is open.
Yeah. That's about, yeah.
Um,
Can
And
I
there-
second it?
yeah. Yes.
Then I second it.
Director Gibson has seconded that motion. Roll call directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Abstain.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. Director Schoenberg,
I think I'm gonna abstain as well.
Director Garcia is an aye. 3-0, 2 abstentions. Motion carried. Number 17, discussion vote on resolution FP 2021-1216-01, renewing use of remote teleconference meetings under AB 361.
And I do have an update on that one.
Please.
So the California state of emergency due to COVID was extended all the way through March 31st. So the board will have the ability to continue to vote this way if they would like for the months of January, February, and March. But we do them one at a time, but just to provide that update.
Okay, I'd like to move that we renew resolution FP 20, or actually this is a new one, right? Because we need to do a new one each time. So I'd like to move that we adopt resolution FP 2021-1216-01, renewing use of remote teleconference meetings under AB 361.
Do I have a second?
I will second it.
Director Gibson is second that motion. Roll call of directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Abstain.
Director Nyman,
Abstain.
Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Garcia is an aye. 3-0, 2 abstentions. Motion's carried. And we'll just keep that on the agenda next 2 months or,
She has to do a new one each time.
okay,
It's a separate resolution each time.
perfect. Moving on. Number 18. Discussion vote on district holiday plans. Are you, Johnny?
It is. I know that there's been some discussion about this and concern about COVID and all that stuff. So then I came up with an idea. Why don't we keep it really simple and keep it just employees and available board members during a working day and just order individual plates of Panda Express?
That sounds
That-
good.
That way
That sounds
everything's
very
provided.
reasonable.
Yep, and then we could still, show appreciation and still have some camaraderie without too many people, and it's all prepared before we take it.
Excellent. Do we need a motion on it, or just go ahead and let you go that? Is there any discussion by the board?
Sounds good to me. Can't we just direct them to do it?
Director Kelly, any input from you?
No input.
Thank you.
She won't be here anyways.
Okay. Well, there's no discussion against it. Why don't we just direct Johnny to do that?
Johnny, the employees were okay with that?
Yeah, I don't think the employees are gonna mind at all. I think keeping it simple and less stressful is better. So I will just have to pick a day because Christmas is rolling around soon. I'll pick a day, send it out to all the board members and the ones that can show up can come, and the ones that can't, then, we'll just proceed and I'll take orders before that date.
Okay, well, that'll be next week for sure. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'll figure out a day that doesn't conflict with meter reads or something, and then we'll go with that.
Okay, excellent. Good job.
All right. Thank you.
Number 19, discussion or vote on any future agenda items. I think we've caught them along the way. Any other additions from the board? Apparently not. Number 20, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Sorry, I'll second it.
Director Kelly has second that motion. Roll call directors. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Garcia is an aye. 5-0-0, motion carried. This meeting is adjourned.
And can I just say,
At 8:18.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, Director Schoenberg.
you might want to reach out to Carlos and Oscar and make sure that you're on the email list for the project ad hoc.
Okay.
I don't think any of the other ones are the other ones I'll go to. The other ones are in our ability to send stuff out, but that one, the state, self-help send stuff out.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you all.
Anything
You
else?
all right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
good night,
Merry
all.
Christmas,
Merry
Pam,
Christmas.
Joan,
You all have a very good
Stan,
Christmas. Stay
everybody.
safe.